Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Miracle Plant Podcast. We have such an incredible guest that I met on this incredible app that we've all heard so much about called Clubhouse. It's Dr. Megan. She's an incredible spirit, laugh and joy. And it's been such a joy to get to know her and learn more about her story. We've been on a lot of rooms on there on Clubhouse, and here we are now on the Miracle Plant Podcast. So welcome, Dr. Megan. How are you doing?
I'm well. Thank you for having me. I was so excited about this.
Absolutely. It's just such an honor to have you. You're such an expert. I'd love for you to share with the audience, what is it that you do, and maybe explain a little bit more about that.
Sure. Okay. Hello, everyone. Well, I'm a naturopathic doctor. That means I've studied 4 years of medicine, just like regular doctors do, except in naturopathic medical school. Our focus is really to help the person heal. And so we study additional healing modalities in that vein. For example, things like acupuncture, botanical medicine, clinical nutrition, environmental medicine, homeopathy, mind-body medicine, physical medicine. And in case you're wondering, physical medicine is kind of like what chiropractors do, moving the bones and muscles and helping the nervous system engage in the whole body. So anyway, that's a lot of medicine crammed into 4 years. And then afterwards, I decided to specialize in gastroenterology, which is, of course, the digestive system. So anybody who's like burpy, bloaty, or gassy, or anything else nasty, then they're looking for me. Okay, and my second specialty is diabetes, and I'm right in Atlanta now. But I do telemedicine, so I do see patients all over the states and really all over the world. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. And, we connected, on Clubhouse and all these incredible conversations. And I know it's like observing herbs and a couple other rooms out there that really, talk about naturopathic healing, talk about herbs. And it's just been an incredible. What's been your experience of Clubhouse, bringing people together?
I love Clubhouse. And so, I got on there, I think in December, because my friend, you probably remember her, Dr. Ferlandi, she's the one that told me about it. And so I got on there, and I really was not expecting it to be what it has turned out to be. But honestly, I think it's a great platform for people to just come together of like mind, no matter what that mind is, whether it be politics or medicine, religion, any other social issue, but business even, but they just can come together. And what I really like about it is that you can really glean so much information if you are truly trying to solve a problem. Because in general, the way it's set up, with the rooms, obviously the people that start the room are the moderators. And most often they are already experts in their field or in whatever issue that you have gone in there for. For example, I like to go in the room about how to make $1 million in 2021. Well, all of the moderators are already millionaires. So when you ask them your questions, you're asking someone who actually is informed on that topic. And that's what I like about it. I just like the sharing and the open givingness, and everyone's usually really willing to help.
Yeah, and because the platforms that I've been on with you and the rooms that we've shared, there's been 400, 500, 600 people in the audience listening and asking their specific questions about their specific issues and health ailments, and getting real advice from experts on what herbs might help with indigestion, or what herbs might help with heartburn. And it's just been an incredible platform for people to just connect and learn from experts and build your community. And I'm so happy for Clubhouse. I'm so happy we got to meet.
I love it.
Yeah. So it's incredible. Well, let me tell you a little bit about our story again, just so to kind of refresh it for you, how we got into the herbs and the Miracle Plant Podcast. Was our son was diagnosed with a regressive ailment of autism, very severe and nonverbal, non-communicative, and we were very scared and overwhelmed, and it's almost like a grieving process. But once we kind of cleared the fog for ourselves, we went and looked to see, what we could do, and we cleaned up his diet. We did the food tests, we did the allergy tests, we looked at all the heavy metals and the pesticides that were in his system, and it was really bad because the inflammation in his brain and his body was just so heavy, and the autoimmune disease. So with a really clean diet, organic juicing, and no gluten, dairy, any of those things, we were able to make some serious progress. And then we came across some research with Dr. Raphael Mechoulam in the 60s and 70s, and it showed us about these 3 letters CBD. And we tried some other products, didn't get the success we were looking for, but I wasn't going to give up because I knew if it was working with kids with seizures, then it had to hopefully work for kids with autism because they're both neurological. And so we decided to dig deeper, and that's when we ran into some research from Dr. William Courtney about raw cannabis juicing. And that was really the game changer for us. Our son was at a pumpkin patch, having a horrible time and tantruming, hands over his ears. And then we gave him some raw, cold pressed cannabis oil, and we had made, and literally in 2 minutes he snapped out of the tantrum and was out picking pumpkins and playing with his sister. And that was the beginning of us saying, okay, with a great diet and a little bit of therapy and a lot of raw cannabis oil, that was the secret for us. And we got him off the spectrum. He's a healthy, happy kid. And so that's our story. And I wanted to kind of throw it back at you based on what you've seen and how you diagnose people that have autoimmune issues. And why did that work for us? Because I know you're an expert with the gut.
Yeah, you know what? It worked really. This is the thing. People always make healing so complicated, but it really isn't. Your body was already naturally made to heal itself. As you can see, if you've ever given yourself a tiny paper cut or something on your hand, and that cut is not still open and bleeding 2 weeks later, and the body does not even wait for you to put on a band-aid or neosporin or anything. It will just handle it. So the body was already made to heal. However, when it gets overwhelmed with one thing, or usually an accumulation of things with adults, with kids, it's usually is one big thing, like with autism. But with adults, it's accumulation of lifetime. You've been divorced, your parents hate you, then you've been beat up. I mean, there's all this. So eventually the body will then break down and need help to restore health. But once you help eliminate the toxins and eliminate the waste, you give it what it needs as far as vitamins, nutrients, minerals, cofactors, all that. Okay, additional support like your sleep and your stress and other things. Then it will then retake the reins of healing itself. So honestly, I think it worked well with you all because you all probably with the food testing that you did, you probably eliminated all of the toxins that really were mucking up his system. Because there's a saying that we have in medicine that the gut is like the second brain. So if you are feeding your gut, which remember feeds the rest of you, right? Your heart, lungs, everything, brain. Okay, if that gut is so disjointed and in complete disrepair, you cannot expect to be healthy if you are poisoning yourself. And probably you all have seen success with your son because you removed those toxins and again allowed his body then a break from literally like beating it with a hammer. You give it a break, he was able to bounce back. Then when you added the cannabis to it, well, that is a great herb for that. And so then it just helped further enhance the healing efforts that his body was already trying to do. Yeah, bravo. I'm glad you guys look for some stuff to do. That's excellent. I'm glad to do that.
Well, I was raised holistically. My mom was a flower child from the 60s, so we definitely knew about plant-based medicine, and we were able to be tapped in to looking for answers from things that came out of the ground versus test tubes. Right. So we were tapped into that early on. What other things would you advise for someone who has an autoimmune disease? Are there specific herbs that you've seen that work for anti-inflammation? For example, we have a product called Alleviate X that has a little white willow bark. It's an organic extract that helps with pain and inflammation. Yeah. What are some of your favorite herbs that you've seen over the years?
I mean, my favorite herbs, to be honest, I kind of have, how many favorites? Maybe 2 or 3. One of them is cayenne pepper. I love cayenne pepper, and not the cheesy kind you can get in the grocery store. I mean the real cayenne pepper, the kind that Dr. Schultz makes. His, I think, is like 250,000 heat units, and the normal, like cayenne pepper, any pepper, might be 30,000 or something. I mean, when he makes his pepper, he actually has to make it like in the science lab under the hood, so it's not too hot. So I love that. But what I love about it is such a powerful circulatory stimulant. I mean, so if your blood is not moving, that will move your blood. It's also chronotropic and ionotropic. Chronotropic means that it will make your heart beat at the time it should beat in, as in not too fast and not too slow. But then ionotropic means it makes each contraction count more efficiently. meaning it's not giving a lot of little flutter beats, but really strongly. And if you want to hear a cool story about the power of cayenne pepper, one time I had a patient, well, she had had a stroke before she was my patient. She'd had a stroke. So her daughter called me, and the patient was still in the hospital. Okay. So I went there to visit her there in the hospital. And, they basically, she had had this stroke, but they were unable to really give her anything to treat it. Why? Because, first of all, the stroke was in a very delicate area in her brain. Secondly, when you give the stroke treatment, TPA, it's such a strong drug that if you give too much, you can actually push them into hemorrhagic bleeding, right? So they really did not feel they could do anything for her stroke except place her in the Trendelenburg position. And if you know what that is, that's when you're lying with your feet are up and then your head is down. And that's it. And if you think this is the 20 or 21st, I always mess up which century
Mm-hmm.
it is.
Mm-hmm.
Is it
Me too.
21st, 22nd? Anyway, this is the time we're living in. And all they can do to help you with a stroke is literally to hang you upside down in your bed. To me, I thought that was ridiculous. So when I went to the hospital, we kind of had to bar the door a little bit, but I went in there and I did some acupuncture on her, and that helped because you could see her face change and everything. And they were like, "Wow, wow, this is awful, awesome." Okay, but so again, they couldn't do anything for her, so they discharged her, right? So she went home like the next day. Okay, I get this frantic call from her daughter the next day. Megan, Dr. Megan, what do I do? Mom's face is bunching up again, just like it did when she had the other stroke. I don't know what she was talking to me. Now she won't respond. I don't know what to do. I don't want to take her to the hospital. Didn't do anything last time. And honestly, I was kind of a little scared myself because I was
Mm-hmm.
a new doctor. Then that was like years ago. And I don't know, that 2011 or something. So I was like when I was just graduating. I was kind of afraid myself. But then I did think of cayenne pepper. It came to my mind, cayenne pepper. I said, okay. So originally, when I was having her drink the cayenne, I was having her put it into some water to dilute it. But I was like, look, I don't want to have no stroke on my watch. So I was like, look, just take that Dr. Joe's cayenne. It's liquid cayenne, so he has a powder too, but this one was a liquid one. I said, pour that dropper full under her tongue, stay on the phone with me, and tell me what happens in 5 minutes. Well, for some reason, she didn't stay on the phone with me. She got off, she cut me off. I hung up. She did though. She did that. Okay, after like 15 minutes, I was about to go berserk. Like, what's going on? She
Mm-hmm.
was like, Megan. So she called me. She's like, you won't believe this. She said, Mom's face was all twisted up like the last time. But first, I gave her that cayenne. Of course, she started screaming because it's very hot, very hot.
Mm-hmm.
A bowl dropper full. So she's like, first she started screaming and sputtering, but after that, she just calmed down. She said she started talking again and responding. Her lip just moved all the way back down again. She's, oh, look at that on Jerry Springer, just watching TV again. So that was awesome. I love cayenne pepper. I also like ginger, especially for digestion. It's a very good one. And then what's my other third herb? I don't know that I have a third. Maybe those are my two favorites.
Well, we're going to get cannabis to be your third favorite
Good,
herb
good.
here.
Thank
That's
you.
for
Let's see
sure.
what it is.
What
Good, good.
what kind of questions do you have? I know you've been taking diligent notes with Dr. Lakeisha and myself and other cannabis experts on Clubhouse. Any questions you have or
Yes,
anything that you've learned that you
absolutely.
like?
Yes, please. Thank you. Now, I know you all told me before on Clubhouse the benefits of cannabis, specifically to the GI, since that is my specialty. But if you don't mind, I really would like you to just go over it with me because I took notes and I still feel like it's stuck. So, really, all the different diseases it can help with GI diseases, how it's anti-inflammatory, whatever. Just tell me what it does, please.
Well, I mean, it does all of those things. I mean, first and foremost, the number one reason that people use cannabis or they come to us is for pain and inflammation.
Okay.
And with the body, obviously, as you know, with inflammation from processed foods, refined sugars, and toxins, and everything else that we consume this day and age, is reducing inflammation allows the body to do what it's supposed to do. Like you said, when you were young and you
Exactly.
got a cut and it healed itself. So the biggest thing with cannabis is that when it's taken in its whole plant and raw form, is the way we do it with like cold pressing, like other herbs and essential oils, is that we have seen that it has this synergistic effect of communicating with the body that allows it to find homeostasis. So whether it's getting a good night's sleep or eating right or exercising or being mindful, those things all help the body to find homeostasis. And this cannabis plant, when it is taken in its whole plant form, it just has an amazing ability to regulate the body, because the endocannabinoid system, which is within all of our bodies, is just set up to receive them. And the endocannabinoid system, it helps regulate all of the other systems within the body. So it's just a real, adapter, and it just really kind of helps modulate and make everything in the body work the way that it's supposed to work. In fact, our own bodies actually make CBD in the form of 2-AG. Yeah, so it's actually, we can make it endogenously. That's the endocannabinoid system. So it can be made within our own bodies as 2-AG, or we can get it from other plants and vegetables like cannabis, kale, broccoli, and CBD cannabinoids are also found in human breast milk. So it's really a fascinating plant, and it's, that's why we call it the miracle plant. And combining it with other herbs for specific ailments has just been so powerful for us. And we look forward to, learning more from you and collaborating. And it's just incredible what this, that we're all here talking because of this incredible platform. Clubhouse.
Yeah, that is awesome. One more question. I know that cannabis has a lot of different phytonutrients, meaning just like CBD, THC, CBDA, all that. So can you maybe explain to me just a little bit about the differences between each of those?
Yeah, well, so again, the most popular cannabinoids within the plant, and there's over 100 cannabinoids like CBD and THC and CBDA and CBGA. So there's well over 100, and the ones that are most researched is THC and CBD, but all of those other cannabinoids all work together like a symphony. So if you're just highlighting like one violinist or one trumpet player, well, they may be a good, individually, but when you have them play together with all of the other cannabinoids, that's when the synergistic healing of what's called the entourage effect really kicks in. So CBD has been known and researched a lot for, like I said, for pain and inflammation. People have certainly used it for anxiety. They've also used it for, they've used it for sleep, help with sleep aids. But then again, so it's so much more than just the one particular cannabinoid. THC has been researched to help with, glaucoma, with nausea, and certainly with appetite. So every cannabinoid has a little bit different profile, but the biggest difference is that, we just have started researching the plant. So what someone who might think that it's the THC that's helping with the appetite, in fact, if you're using the entire plant in the whole plant extraction, then you're getting a little bit of THC, but you're also getting the CBD, the CBG, the CBC, and all of those other ones. They're all in there. And so it's just a matter of, finding it. For us, once you find the right cannabinoid that works best for you, and for us, it was CBDA. So the raw version of CBD. Our plants are mostly made up of CBDA. There is a little bit of THCA in there, which is non-psychoactive, and it has to be less than 0.3%. There's a little bit of CBG. There's a little bit of CBC. So the other cannabinoid that we've seen some research on, like CBG, is the mother cannabinoid. So as the plant comes out of the ground, the seedling is all CBGA. As it grows older, based on the genetics of the plant, it will turn to the left and become a CBD or hemp plant, or it can turn to the right based on the genetics and become a THCA plant, or what we call in this country marijuana, which is really just a slang term that was made up in 1937. So it's all cannabis. Cannabis is the name of the plant. So those are the different ones. That the most popular are CBD, and we are CBDA, which stands for acidic form, which is the raw form of CBD, and THC delta 9, which is the heated up or decarboxylated version of THCA, which does have psychoactive properties, which give people, that high feeling. So those are the ones that are researched the most. But over time, we're going to be able to see how many more of these plants are actually, it's so much more than just those cannabinoids. And we haven't even talked about the flavonoids like canaflavin A or the terpenes, as I'm sure you know very much about. So we're also starting to see that the terpenes are more important when it comes to the feeling that we get because the terpenes deliver those cannabinoids like CBD and THC into certain parts of the brain, as you well know, like lavender.
Right.
And so it's incredible. This plant is brilliant and perfect exactly the way it is. But the more and more we learn about it and matching particular varieties of this plant with particular issues, it's just going to be absolutely nuts.
Right. Wow, that's really interesting. So, yeah, I know they're always talking about the psychoactive component, which I think is the THC, right? Isn't that the one? And yeah, but so then you mentioned hemp. So if people are drinking something like hemp milk, which is something that I do recommend if
Mm-hmm.
it's an alternative like dairy milk, for example, which I'm not really a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how much like of that plant are they even getting cannabis are they getting from an extract like making into hemp milk?
Well, and so hemp milk obviously comes from the hemp seeds, and the hemp seeds are incredible. All of our products use hemp seed oil, organic hemp seed oil, as the carrier oil that we use. And it's got all 21 amino acids. It has a perfect balance of omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acids, which is 3-part omega-3 to 1-part omega-6. It's the closest thing to human breast milk that's on the planet. So it's just incredible. So hemp milk is awesome, and we also, like I said, use the hemp seed oil, organically made, cold pressed, and it's fantastic. You're not going to get a lot of cannabinoids out of it, but you're going to get all of those other wonderful properties as well. So what we would recommend too, and we'd love to help people, we can send them seeds for free. Every order placed on our website, we'll just put in the notes, hey, I want some hemp seeds, and we'll send you some hemp seeds to grow in your backyard, and also show you a video of how to grow them and help people grow them in your backyard. Because then when you grow them in your backyard, like tomatoes or other herbs, you can just clip the flowers with the leaves and everything and throw them in your juicer, in your morning juice, like you did with celery or kale or apples or carrots. And we use an omega juicer, which our son still gets that every morning. The whole family drinks the same juice, and we use some of our product, our cold pressed hemp oil, and then we also will throw the fresh flowers in as well. So it's incredible. The whole plant is the key, though, just as you know, holistically with other herbs.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. Well, listen, I know that cannabis has sort of been demonized all over the U.S., unrightfully so, in my opinion. But so now I'm in Georgia. So, what recourse do my patients have here, or really anywhere that cannabis is not legal, to get quality products? I mean, whether it's the seed, I see you guys, you said you sell the seeds on your website, but what about this oil you said you use, or even the rest of the fresh plant juice? I mean, can they even get it if it's not legal?
So our products are because they have less than 0.3% THC. All of our products are legal in all 50 states, and we actually ship internationally too. So as long as the THC is less than 0.3, it's completely legal to ship anywhere. So I think I've got some going out to you. Have you received them yet? I can't remember.
I did. I just got it today.
Oh, cool.
Thank you. And you didn't really have to send me this much. This is a lot. And don't worry, I'll plan on using it myself. I always like to test things on myself before I tell the patients to do it. And I definitely have a few things I need to work on with my health. So, yeah, this one says Boost X Citrus. Okay. So it looks like this one has hemp extract. Okay. Yeah. Hemp seed, American ginseng. I like that herb too. Orange and lemon flavor, stevia. And then I also got this one, which was Chill X. Okay. And that one has, um, again, the hemp seed oil. Oh, passion flower. Nice. Okay. And then I got a third one. The third one here, guys, if you want to hear. This one's called Alleviate X, Blackberry Cobbler. Now that one has the hemp seed oil. Oh, the white willow bark. Okay. Yeah, white willow, well, in naturopathic medicine, it's Latin. There's an alarm going off there.
You said it was Latin?
Got cut off because the alarm went off from my phone. Anyway, I don't know. Can you still? Okay, good. Here I am. Now, Yeah, so that white willow, we like that because in Latin that's salix. And that is like aspirin is really good for pain, you know? And I like that. So definitely, I am definitely going to try these out. And guys, he also sent me, this was so thoughtful, a nice little deodorant.
Well, it's a roll-on for
So it
pain.
says
It looks like
mildly
deodorant,
roll on.
but it's a
And I
roll-on for
definitely
pain.
need this
Yeah.
because I've been kind of not as fresh as I would have liked lately. So I'm very thankful for you sending me this. And so what is your website? So I can send people there in case they
Oh,
need to
sure.
get something.
The best website right now to send
Oh, I
consumers.
can't hear you anymore.
Oh, sorry. Did we lose you? Oh, one sec here. I can hear myself. You can't hear me? Can't hear me? No? Let's try this. Sometimes you always go like that. Is that better? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? No?
No, I still can't hear you.
I can hear you fine.
I don't know what happened.
I can hear you.
You
So
can
we
hear
can
me,
keep,
okay.
I can hear you. So anyways, it's you know, those products, you can go to 101hemp.org, the one here on the website right here. That one.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So go to that
Well,
website
I see you're
and we
pointing
can
to something.
definitely help people
Okay,
out.
good.
And
www.101hemp.org. Great.
Yep.
Maybe I'll take a screenshot of this so I'll remember.
Absolutely. And we will we'll connect
Good.
and
Good.
I look forward to
That's
hearing.
why and I see you're talking to now. We're both talking because I can hear you. But look, I got your website and I'm definitely now going to recommend, my patients go there because like I think you guys have told me before that cannabis is really good as an antiemetic and obviously it's anti-inflammatory. So that would be there's so many inflammatory bowel diseases. Well, not so many, there's two, but then there's irritable bowel syndrome too. Then people just constipated. I mean, in general, GI is just hot and angry. So this would be a great thing. And I guess you guys must have quite a selection on your website as far as oils or juices or whatever. So I'm going to definitely keep that and keep people, let them know. Because I really always thought that you couldn't get cannabis, because it wasn't legal everywhere. And I know there's a lot of implications with people having to become like refugees to get the medical treatment and all that. So I'm glad to know now that they can get your products. And that's really, really glad. I'm glad to know that. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for hopping on. Thanks for coming on the show. And I can't wait to see you soon in another Clubhouse room. And we'll see you really soon. So thanks for coming on.
Okay. I see you're talking. That's funny. But yeah, I'll see you in one of the rooms in Clubhouse. Okay. This has been so great. Thanks for having me.
You bet. See you really soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So once again, thanks for coming on and joining us on the Miracle Plant podcast. I do want to read one of our reviews that we have. This one is, thank goodness for this platform. What a blessing to have the ability to hear stories of people and families who have benefited from this miracle plant called cannabis. We need to spread the word that people don't have to take nasty medications with tons of side effects to heal. Hemp in its raw form can do wonders to balance and heal your body and mind. Thank you, Justin, for making this happen. That's from Love My Baby Girl. So thank you, everybody. Make sure you share this out, like this. We just want people to hear these stories and understand the power of plants, especially this miracle plant with so many names that's so misunderstood. So until next time, thanks for joining us on the Miracle Plant podcast, and we'll see you next week. Take care of